This buyer story is possibly my most favorite and personal one yet. We talk about her going from poverty to buying her first home, what it's like to move with family, the importance of Megan's Law, how a 23-cent deposit almost ruined their closing, and how her agent pressured her to spend more than she was comfortable with. Welcome to the real estate industry, where everyone's an expert and everyone's trying to make money off of you, the consumer. So where do you go if you just want the truth about how this all works? Welcome to Real Estate for Consumers with me, Wendy Gilch, founder of Selling Later and Consumer Advocate. We'll learn how the industry really works, how all of these companies profit from you, and who the good players are in the industry. We'll share stories from actual sellers and buyers to learn how they bought or sold, what they learned, and what they would have done differently. Learn the truth about the industry from people who aren't trying to make a dollar off of you. Okay, so was this your first time buying, and did you also have to sell?
No, we were renting, or we are renting. It's our first time buying.
Okay. And then what triggered the move?
So it's kind of a long story, but I'll try to make it short. We were in really deep in poverty in 2019. I grew up in poverty. We were deep in it together as a married couple with kids, and my husband learned to code online and we lived in Oklahoma at the time, and he went out on a limb and applied for a job out here and got a job. We're no longer in poverty, but we had, just not being able to come out here and look at rentals and things like that before we came. We just rented whatever we could find. There were not many rentals at the time, close to Christmas of 2019.
Right.
So we rented a trailer, it's a nice trailer, but it's a trailer, and I want real floors and yard. And, and I told him, I said, this is this is a stepping stone to our, wherever we go next. Well, we had thought we would live here for a year and try to get into something bigger, but then COVID happened, so with everything being up in the air with COVID and quarantining and all that, we decided to just stay past our lease and kind of ride it out. And the more time that has gone on, I'm like, we gotta get out of here. I need a yard. I'm homeschooling. We're busting at the seams, with all of the homeschool stuff. And then my husband had to take up an entire room to use as an office because he's working from home. And I was like, we got to get out.
Right.
So,
and you're in Charlotte, right?
We're just outside of Charlotte on the South Carolina side, 15 minutes from Charlotte.
What's the market like there? What was it like? Did you even look, or did you realize that it's just too competitive? Or
so I've actually been on the first time home buyer sub for 5 or 6 years, and it just shows up in my Reddit feed. And so I knew it was crazy, and I totally expected it to be way worse for us.
Right.
My husband got approved for permanent work from home. So we were actually looking, just kind of further out. I'm not a city person. I grew up in tiny towns in Oklahoma. So I wanted to get further away from all the crazy traffic and stuff, but still be within driving distance of his job. And we started looking. And the biggest issue that we really ran into was finding houses that we loved, but we couldn't get internet.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
Wait, how far out you moving to?
Well, these were the first one that we had looked at was 15 minutes from Columbia, South Carolina. Okay. It was just in the country though, so they didn't have internet lines run out to it.
Feels like that doesn't seem like it should be common, but I guess there's just certain pockets that's just the reality, right?
Right.
It's just not easy.
We had looked at he had considered looking at another house closer to Charlotte that also did not have internet. And it's just, my mom can't even get dial up where she's at. So I didn't assume that it would be that big of an issue in 2022.
Right.
Here,
right.
But still a problem, I guess, for a lot of people around this area.
Oh, wow. So then how did you find that home?
So for me, I'm trying, because we're behind, because we were in poverty, I'm trying to make a strategic decision as much as I am finding a house that I love. So I told our realtor, I said, listen, if there's a house that we could find in this area, because it's rapidly growing, where we could gain a lot of equity faster than we might in a different place, then I would like to do that instead of trying to find my dream home.
Right.
Live there for 5 years, then go find my dream home.
Right. Roll all
And
that
so
equity
he
into
said,
something better, right?
right. And so he said, well, listen, there's this little town, because South Carolina has cheaper property taxes and stuff. So this area where we're at is catching a lot of the overflow because it's close to Charlotte and cheaper property taxes and stuff like that. And so he said, there are these new construction houses in this little town. I want you to go look at them. And I was like, that's fine, And so we drove to this small town right on the state line, a town of 2,000 people, but it's currently catching a lot of the overflow from Charlotte, and it's growing. Sorry for the screaming kids.
No, if mine were not at school right now, I would have the same background. So there's no judgment here.
So I told them to stop. It probably won't happen.
Oh, trust me. I don't care. My kids did. You should see, my daughter has interrupted every interview, every podcast, every Zoom call. It's like she does it on purpose at this point. And I don't care. I mean, we're like, 2 years into everyone working from home. Like, I don't care. All right. So go ahead. So you were looking at new construction, right?
Okay. So we looked at this new construction.
Right.
And it was in a town of 2,000 people, but it was only 20 minutes or so from Charlotte, maybe 30.
Okay.
And so from purely a strategic standpoint, he was like, listen, these houses are in your budget. It would give you more time to move because they wouldn't be done until like July. And he said, I know they're small, but like, from a strategic standpoint, people are going to buy a new construction home and you're probably going to gain rapid equity because it's catching the overflow from Charlotte. So we get there and like the yard size was like a strip of grass and the construction was so shoddy. The houses were 1,200 square feet, which is so small. You could just tell they were slapping these houses together to get them together as fast as they could. And it was like crooked baseboards and
yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be picky about if the house had been already lived in and was 30 years old, but in a new construction, I don't expect to see stuff like that. Yeah. And it just looked terrible. And I thought it was very disheartening, but it was also like the first house we had, or the second house that we had looked at. And I was, so knowing that he could work from home, that gave us more flexible options to go further out. So we looked at I found another new construction house and it was only 1,100 square feet. And I was like, no way. Like, you saw how small the 1,200 square foot one was. There's no way.
Right.
And so I don't know why we were bored. It was a Saturday. It was like, let's just go look at it. We loved it. I don't know why, but it seemed so much more roomy. And you could tell that like the guy building it cared about craftsmanship and the quality of his work. It's small. It's not our dream house, but it has a nice, huge yard. It's in a small town. It's within driving distance to Charlotte. We put in an offer. I think this was like March the 7th, and we're supposed to be closing next week.
Well, wait, what? Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, you put an offer in on March the 7th, and that's like speed time.
I know. It has been. So some of the issues, like one of the main issues we've had is like our loan got sent back from underwriting to explain a 23-cent deposit.
No. And wait, a 23-cent deposit.
Yes. And so what had happened with that deposit was whenever we moved here from Oklahoma, we had just a checking account in Oklahoma. And we had intended once we got moved, to switch our, to get a new checking account and all of that locally. But then COVID happened right after we got here. And so it just didn't ever become a priority. And then I started looking around the end of last year, like, hey, let's try to find a local checking account because we had some paper checks that we were holding on to that we needed to cash or deposit or whatever. And so when I started to look, there's like no free checking here. It's just not a thing. And the fee is like $25 a month. And I was like,
no, wait, to have a checking account?
Yes.
What?
And I checked with like 6 banks in our town. I couldn't find a local bank with free checking. And so the best I could find we needed to go get these checks deposited and stuff, was I found just a free savings account, but they don't do free checking at that bank, whatever. So I opened a savings account, deposited the checks, no big deal. And I decided to try to electronically connect the savings account here with one bank to the checking account that's with another bank in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
And, they have to do the little, we're going to deposit 2 small amounts in your bank account,
Oh, yeah.
and then you come back and report them, right? So that's what the deposits were for. So when it came back from underwriting, I was like, oh, I have an email actually about it. So I sent the email to her, and I was like, it was just me trying to connect the savings to the checking. And the lady at the lender's office, who was not the underwriter, was like, oh, that's great. The email shows right there. It says what the deposit will say, trial credit, and you know and it shows trial credit on the bank statement. Like, this will be great. But then they said that's not a good enough explanation.
Oh my gosh. For 23 cents. I don't understand this. I don't understand. Oh my
So
God.
so I was like, okay, but what else do I do? Like, what do I need to give you to prove that, that's what, how else am I supposed to explain it? I gave you the email. I don't know what else to say. It was to verify stuff.
Right.
And so she was like, I know, it's so ridiculous. The lady at the lender's office, she was on my side. She was like, this is ridiculous. And so they ended up escalating it to the underwriter's supervisor.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh,
the supervisor was like, that is ridiculous. That is a totally sufficient explanation for this. But I found other things that I need an explanation for. A $6 refund from Walmart.
why are they? Is
I,
this normal? I thought it was only like big amounts that I don't understand.
we had to write a letter for a $6 refund from Walmart
Oh my gosh.
that got deposited into our checking account. So yeah,
Ugh.
it's just been, so that hadn't all happened when I told you, oh, our experience has been great.
Yeah, I know. I was even thinking too, I'm like, I'm not going to do anything with her story until she closes because I don't want to be some
I
jinx
know.
that will mess something up for you. Oh
So
my
the
God.
lender that we have has been phenomenal. And I even said, like, I don't care if we have to pay more for this house in the end. He is so amazing that I don't want anyone else. I've told my realtor this. I'm like, don't even suggest another lender to me.
Right, right.
Because this guy,
What kind of loan did you get?
we ended up doing the USDA loan.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So he has just been, which he does, we qualified for conventional, FHA, USDA. We qualified for everything. And we qualified for way more than we could ever afford. When I put and I'm very anal about our budget and knowing what we can afford. And when I put pencil to paper, we would literally have to eat ramen noodles 3 times a day, 7 days a week for the
Wow.
next 10 years.
Wow.
So the lender told me, you are the first person that we have had in ages that didn't take the full amount that they got approved for.
Really?
And I
Okay.
was just like, there's no way. I'm not trying to go back to poverty. I've lived that life. I don't want to do it again. So we ended up actually purchasing $80,000 less than what we were approved for. I mean, of course, I would love a bigger house. Of course, I would love, everything that I wanted from a home, but it's just not wise right now.
What was the biggest thing that helped you to get out of poverty? What was like the
Oh,
biggest change, or was it just a total overhaul?
oh, my husband learning to code, hands down, for free on the internet, taught himself to code, and went from making, $23,000 a year, which is technically not the poverty line.
It should be
But
too. I mean, for a family, my gosh.
learning to code and going from that to getting a 6-figure offer.
Wow. That's amazing.
And then after we moved here, I did a boot camp, also free online, learn to code. And my classmates are getting jobs for, one classmate got a 400K offer, one got a 150K offer. Like, learning to code was life-changing for us. I tell everyone about it. I'm sure I sound like I'm selling something because I'm
No, it's funny because
code.
my son is taking a coding class and he's like 8, almost 9. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
why do you know more about this than I do? Like, I obviously, so you're going to have to email me what the class was, because I obviously am a little behind on this and need some education.
Right.
But that's amazing. So how did you explain like the whole move to the kids? Like, was it something they knew was coming, or is it?
Oh, yeah, they know. My kids are both very advanced, even though they don't seem like it in the background.
Mine, they sound the same as mine. So we both have smart
They
kids.
they are very advanced, and they have known, my oldest daughter says, like, all the time, like, I know that the trailer that we lived in before we moved here was old and falling apart and not necessarily safe for us, but it was home, and I miss it and I want to go back. And I'm like, no way, we're
Aw.
never going back there,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, I'm sorry, that makes me sad for you, your feelings are valid, but we're never going back there.
Right.
So
Right.
we have to, she said, well, I at least want a home, and my youngest is a little more dreamy. She had a really specific list for the things that needed to be met on her list. It needs
Oh
to
yeah.
have flower boxes outside the windows, or I don't want it.
Right. 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 Right.
But so when we went to view the house, there was a stray cat in the backyard.
Oh, sold. Right. Did that sell
Yep,
it for them?
that was it. That was it. They're like, all right, the cat, we need this house. Let's do it. They love it.
You better hope that cat comes back when you move in
I
there.
know. I actually told them both last night. I'm like, I need you both to realize that we may never see that cat again. Okay.
Right. And if you do, it's going to become your pet, right?
Well, we already have two cats.
Oh, do
So
you? Oh, but
what's
hey,
a third
three's
one?
not too bad. Three's not too bad. Were there any other offers on the home when you put it on the new construction?
No.
Oh, that's good.
No, and it actually came back and appraised for quite a bit lower than what they had it listed for. And so it appraised at 210. They had it listed for 224.9.
Oh, okay.
And I went back and said, well, tell them 210,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't want to pay the gap,
Right.
and I guess it pissed them off. They said, we had someone else come today that's planning to make an offer, which
Yeah.
I
They
know
all
was
say that.
BS. I
Yeah.
know it was BS, but it's my realtor said, listen, I agree with you that there's a 99.9% chance this is BS. He said, but I've had this happen before. Just recently, he said, I've had a situation where we thought it was BS and we stuck to our guns and said no, and they pulled it and went with someone else. So
Right.
he was like, what is important to you? Is it most important to you to walk away with the house or to keep $5,000 in your pocket? And I was like, okay, fine, tell them 215.
Take my money. Just
So,
take it.
because I read the stories on the first time home buyers read us up, and I am absolutely horrified.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't want my family to go through that. I realize we're very lucky.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
I've been hanging out there in years. Like, I have a secret name. So I made like a different name, and I started posting in there more often because I'm like, man, like, and it's part of the reason why I wanted to do this is like, there's like, there's those articles about how tough it is, but like, no one's really looking at how tough it is. You know what I mean? Like, no one's listening to these
So
buyers that,
what do you do for a job? What is your job?
oh yeah. Okay. So for years I was in marketing. Um, And then when I had kids, I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And then that changed like real quick after I got home with the baby. Like after like a couple months, I was like, I just feel like I need to be doing something more, right? Like I'm not good at like playing in the dollhouse. Like I'm really bad at playing dollhouse. I'm really bad at it. But so anyway, so I had this idea to create this website where like future sellers and buyers can like connect and learn about each other in advance, like before they hit the market, to either, at least have an idea of what's coming, because most sellers know 5 to 10 months in advance they're going to sell, but to a buyer, it's a surprise. And it's really not a surprise, but you're like the last one to find out. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And so I just made it as a consumer. And then I went to a real estate agent conference, and just as like a consumer, I got invited. I think they thought I was an agent and I wasn't. And I was sitting in the green room with these like big executives, and I'm texting my husband, like, I don't belong here. Like, I don't like what they're talking about. Like, none of this stuff sounds fair. And so I spent the next like year or two diving into consumer advocacy and understanding how consumers are taken advantage of, like how much money is made off of just your data, selling leads to agents, to mortgage companies, and how that affects you in the end, right? Like, if your agent had to pay $2,000 to get your info, where's your negotiating power for buyer rebates? Where's your negotiating power if you're going to be selling your home for listing commissions? And I just realized that there's nobody looking at the consumer perspective.
Okay.
And we're funding everything, right? Like we pay for
Right.
everything. And so it's just kind of snowballed into this big advocacy platform. And then we're going to be adding a ton of stuff this year to help further advance connections in education.
Oh, another thing I meant to tell you about the first new builds that we looked at. So it was a town of 2,000 people with 34 sex offenders. And I was like, I don't like that ratio.
Oh boy. You know what? It's funny to say that because I did this I did surveys of a bunch of buyers and a bunch of sellers, like what's most important to you when you're searching a home. I put Megan's Law in there and nobody clicked it. And I'm like, maybe they don't know what that is. Maybe like I was really surprised.
My realtor told me that I am the first buyer he has ever had that brought this up as a concern.
Wow.
They have made me feel like I am overly paranoid.
No,
and I'm like, does no one? First of all, I grew up in foster. How privileged must you be to not take that into consideration? But anyway.
Yeah. It makes you rethink everything. Like when I send my kids to like a day, like a summer camp, like I'm looking at all these people or like, where do these people get jobs? Right? Like, where am I going? That it changes how you look at everything. Just makes you think differently. And now I'm way off subject. And let me get back to my notes. Okay. Okay. How did you find your inspector?
The realtor just set us up with someone. We actually haven't had our inspection yet. Has been rescheduled 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, at least you hope with a new home, it would be more like nitty gritty stuff, right?
Right. They were just struggling to get like the utilities turned on. I guess that kept getting rescheduled for the builder. And so it's not really something that has been in their control either, as far as I've understood.
Right. Hey, when it comes time before you close, take a giant thing of painter's tape and just mark the heck out of that place. Whatever is wrong, scratched. That's what we went through because we built and we went through like the week before and we're just like, this is messed up. Like this is wrong. Because even if they build a nice home, like there's still a bunch of scratches or dents or like they didn't paint a door. I don't know how they missed it. Just silly stuff, right?
Right. I had noticed like a small paint smear on a door frame and stuff like that when we looked at it. So I don't know. I'm sure they'll catch it, but if they don't, I'm prepared to go. And I also noticed, where they are going to hang the microwave, the cabinet above it, is split.
Oh,
which will be covered by the microwave by the time the inspector goes. So I intend to make him look at it and make sure that it's not going to affect it in any way. So
absolutely. Yeah. I feel like sometimes if it's like something you're not going to see later, you have no idea. Right. My next question is going to be any big surprises, but I feel like being questioned about 23 cents is probably a really good one.
Yeah.
Or $6.
That was the one.
Yeah.
The 23 cents thing.
Oh, that's crazy. Do you still look at houses online or have you stopped?
I've always looked at houses online. There's always going to be a dream house for me out there that I'm going to be sad about. But I did stop for a little while after we put in our offer. And when they came back and said it appraised lower, I was like, all right, time to go back to Zillow.
Back to my list. Yeah. Back to my list.
So, I do, my sister she wants me to move closer to her. And so she was still sending me houses and I'm like, we're already under contract. I can't,
Yeah. Unless she wants to pay the money you lose. Right.
I know. Right.
You just fund that.
Give me my earnest money and I'll move.
Right. How about any tips for someone that's moving their family? Anything that's helped you get your girls excited or even like getting them ready to pack? Any tips for other parents?
Oh my gosh. Try not to yell as much as I
have. It's stressful, right?
I know. I hate it. This has been the worst. It has been the worst. I packed everything from the bathroom into a box. And I told my husband, I said, I'm going to leave out like the toothbrushes and the toothpaste and stuff, of course, but I'm going to pack everything that doesn't get used all the time. And I'm just going to leave it here in an open box on the counter in case we need anything from it. And my youngest squirted a whole brand new tube of toothpaste inside the box on top of everything. So,
yay.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I have tips. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. You'll get
Get
there.
them tablets for the long car rides that you have to go look at houses, because
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they need tablets in the car, and tablets while you're looking at the house. And I still don't know what I'm supposed to do with them when we close, because they've never been left with a babysitter.
Yeah, I don't know what you do or like what
I
you
don't know. I'm just gonna take them with me and hope they don't try to send us away, because my kids have never been to the babysitter. So
yeah. I can't
uh,
imagine it would be like the first time anyone's ever shown up with kids. I'm sure it happens, right?
right.
Was there anything else, anything so far that you wish you would have done differently? Or like a mindset you would have had differently when you
Um,
started this process?
I wish that I had done more research on what I needed to have, like the things that the underwriter would ask for, like, rather than having to stress out in the final hour and find tax transcripts from 3 years ago. I wish that I had just had everything together, even though I'm a pretty organized person. I don't feel like I was organized enough.
Right.
And I wish that I had kind of cleaned up my bank account a little more before we went into this, you know, not taking any 23-cent deposits.
Right. Oh my
And
gosh.
something it feels important to mention in this phone call. So the realtor that has helped us um, was hired by my husband's company when we moved out here to help us find a rental.
Okay.
And so he had texted us throughout the last couple of years, like, hey, you ready to buy a house yet? We'd say no. And finally I said, sure, why not? I was only joking. I
Right.
didn't think we would really do it at that time, but it has been a terrible experience. And I am overly emotional, and everything right now is too much for me.
Right.
So I don't want to go through changing realtors, but I totally should have, because he has been so rude at times with me
Really?
asking questions that I feel that every first time home buyer should ask.
Right. Right.
But I'm just being overly paranoid. And like he said to me one day, whenever I told the lender what my comfortable budget was for a mortgage, he told me the price range that I could comfortably shop in. And it was far below what we got approved for. The realtor was like, well, surely you could afford to go up to this amount.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
was like,
Oh my
listen,
gosh. Are you paying my bills? Are you?
I
Oh,
know.
you can help me?
And he said buying, because he knows we came from poverty and stuff, and like I'm a first generation home buyer. No one in my
Right.
family has ever owned a house, unless you want to
Right.
include trailers.
And that's something
But
to be proud of. Like he should just be supporting whatever decision and price
right.
range you choose.
And he said the first step to generational wealth is buying a home. And I said, I'm sorry, I've never owned a home, but I would venture a guess that the first step to generational wealth is not buying a home that you can't afford. And I know what we can afford. And so I was like, I don't want to get into a home that forces me to feed my kids ramen noodles for every meal, or that has me, us foreclosing in a year or two when we've maxed out everything that we have and
Right.
realized that we still can't afford it.
Right.
And so he was like, well, home ownership is not for everyone.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, how did you not? Why
I,
didn't you cancel him?
I was so mad. I cried that night. I told my husband, I was like, I cannot believe the audacity of this dude. And I
Oh,
called him the next day and I really kind of bitched him out. I was like, listen, you are my realtor and we need to
right.
be on the same page. And I was like telling someone, I said, I came to you and I said, yeah, let's do it. Cause he messaged me and said, are you ready or whatever? And I said, yeah, let's do it. And I am the one who put myself out there and said, yes,
Right.
don't tell me that home ownership is not for me.
Right.
Why would you do that? I clearly told him I am done with renting. I do not want to rent anymore. I want to own a home. So, and after that, I've had no issues with him, but I had to like really bitch him out.
Right.
And
I'm not-
it was hard because he's kind of a cool guy. Like he's kind of been, him and my husband are from the same area of the country and they kind of bonded over that. And he's totally someone that like I feel like I could invite to a cookout if he weren't a man and they weren't all creepy.
Right. Right. Right.
But you
Right.
know,
I feel you.
uh, but like I didn't, it wasn't a good experience. And he has also been, I don't know, I'm not a realtor, but I imagine for myself, if I were a realtor, I would be one of those people that they're like, she's a real bulldog, because
Right.
when I
Right.
said when I said, go back, when our house appraised for 210, he said, well, what do you want me to do? And I was like, well, I've never bought a house before, but I want you to offer 210.
Right, right.
And so he was like, well, they're never going to go for it. I'm like, just do it. And so he did, and they refused, of course. And he goes, okay, so what do you want to do now? And I was like, I want you to tell them 210 again. And he was like, why? And I was like, because I am firm and I know what I
Right.
want,
Right, right.
And
That's
he
the
just
value of the
didn't
home.
want to do it. He has just been like so much of a pushover.
I just assumed it was an okay experience with him, but I don't understand. Like, I listened to your story and I'm like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you turned everything around and you're buying your first home, and you've done all of this with 2 kids at home and homeschooling, which is like my nightmare. Like, I don't know how anybody wouldn't be supportive. Like, what a douchebag.
The lender, like if you put anything out there, put that my lender he has been like the dad I never had.
Yeah.
Like this guy, I don't know what I need to get him for a gift. Lunch, I don't know, a new car.
Right. Right. Oh.
But he has been absolutely phenomenal. And when he told me that he sells the loans to like larger companies, I wanted to cry.
Yeah. Oh. Have a story you think would help future sellers and buyers, or have a question about how everything works? Reach out to us at realestateforconsumers.com.